Hey everybody, Mo here, and today I'm going to be, this is a new episode of Think Like a Pro, where I'm going to be going over I don't know if it's called like mechanic or fundamental or whatever it's called, but basically I'm going to be going over hand reading. Hand reading is, in my opinion, the best skill you could possibly have in card games. And I have put a ton of time into hand reading. Whenever I say things on Twitter or meme about or say anything that has like any ego to it, 99% of the time it's a meme. Like, I don't actually think I'm the best player. I don't actually think I'm even like that good compared to the really, really good players. But the one place that I will kind of, feel confident in is hand reading department. And I think I'm legitimately one of the best hand readers in LoR, like if not the best, one of the best for sure. And so in this video, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys kind of how I became good at hand reading, what I did, how you guys can get better at hand reading, and I'm going to show you guys some games about kind of walk you through my thought process and then show you, or tell you guys like what I'm thinking and kind of hand read and then tell you, okay, well, this is their hand, this is what gave it away, and I'm going to tell you guys why I think this. I'm not just going to say, well, obviously they have this in their hand, and then they play the card and me just say, see, I told you, good hand reading, click like on video, because that's not helpful. I'm actually going to teach you guys what to think and then teach you guys what I think and how to get better at hand reading. So that way you could take away from this, oh, Mo said to do X, Y, Z, and that's how I get better, instead of Mo said he had X in his hand. Because one of those things helps you grow as a player and helps you become better and, just grow on your own. And the other one is me just, telling you words and showing you, oh, I'm so good at hand reading, which, we already know. We know I'm good at hand reading. I don't have to show you guys, that I'm good at hand reading. We know that. The goal of this video isn't to tell you and prove myself I'm good at hand reading. The goal of this video is to teach you guys how to hand read. So towards the end of the video is probably where I do it. I'm going to jump into some games here and kind of hand read and show you guys like what my thoughts are during the hand reading. And then towards the end of the video, probably after the last game, whether I play like 2 or 3 games, is going to be telling you guys like how to actually hand read and like what my thoughts are to go into it, and then what you can do to get better. The tips will probably include like play a lot of games, and then I have a section where I probably going to talk about watching streamers and YouTubers and mute their videos while you stream. So hopefully you guys watch the gameplay as well, so that way you can actually learn what my thought process is while I'm hand reading and while I'm playing well. But if you just want to know the 2 things of what you can do to get better at hand reading, you can just skip to the end of the video, in all honesty. I'll probably have a timestamp here, or hopefully Eric, shout out to Eric, love you, Eric. Hopefully Eric will have a timestamp here of when I just skip to the at the end of the second or third game or whatever, and talk about the couple of ways that I get better, that I personally improved at hand reading. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this intro. I know it was kind of a long 1-3-minute intro, but if you guys could do me a favor, 68% of you guys that watch my videos aren't subscribed to me. I put a lot of time and effort into these competitive deck guides and competitive guides for you guys like this. They're really in-depth. They're really high quality. Literally nobody is doing guides like these about different mechanics and core parts of card games and stuff like that at a competitive level. So if you really enjoy this competitive content, number one place for competitive content is right here. We have Meta Mondays, we have Sweaty Thursdays, we have deck guides, in-depth written 4,000 plus word deck guides, 30-40 minute gameplay videos on the deck themselves, all that type of stuff. This is your place. You don't want to miss it. We're trying to close out 10,000 subs by the end of the year, which would be absolutely insane, and we're almost at 7,000. So if you guys could do me a huge favor, click that subscribe button, join the Discord down below, turn notifications on, all that stuff. I'd really appreciate it. But that's gonna be it for this intro. Let's get into the games, and let's get into teaching you guys how to hand read. All right, what do we got here? We got Ziggs Talia. I think that's Talia. I assume that's Talia. Is that Talia or Kaisa? Talia. Okay, so we got Ziggs Talia. We probably want this Vengeance to remove one of them, but right now we're just going to look for Nami, see if we can just kill them. Nami or Shelly is fine. Yeah, so the goal of this video is kind of just to teach you guys about hand reading, so I'm going to focus less on my plays. Or how do I explain this? I'm going to be focusing more on my opponent's hand and hand reading, and then explaining my plays, why I'm doing my plays based off of what I think their hand is. Instead of just, oh, I'm doing this play because it advances my, win con or whatever. I'm going to explain all the plays I do strictly off of hand reads. And hopefully, we get some kind of interactive games here. So, played her 2-1, that's fine. Nothing here. So here's the issue with this. As our opponent open attacks us, we double trouble. Oh, that's really good for us. I gotta say, we get really sad if they do the create 2 of the vulnerable landmarks after we play double trouble. Oh wow, we already got Poro Central. We got Poro Central, baby. I'm down to just block here. I think this is totally fine. So we can just pass. We don't have to do really anything here. This is where I kind of wish we had that Vengeance back. We got our Nami, so we probably can just level Nami here and try to win. So we can play Nami here if they spend all 4 mana onto something. Pokey Stick? Interesting. Okay. So we could just play Nami, and it forces them to... it forces them to Rite of the Arcane raw and like take a mana gem, which I don't actually hate. The problem is we don't even have that much spells in our hand, or that many spells, so we're just gonna play Zap Sprayfin here. Their hand could be kind of bricked. I think if they had the make vulnerable spell, they had it. Yeah, I don't think they actually have very many units in their hand. Their hand's probably just a bunch of spells and like champions and hourglass and stuff like that. Oh yeah, they don't have like any units. If they do, it's gonna be like one of these two. Like this will be the 3-drop unit if they had it. This will be a unit if they had it. So let's watch their hand here, see if it's any of these 3 that they play. Or obviously Talia, like from the far right, or they're just gonna open attack us. Yeah, so open attack tells us very clearly they don't have units. Oh, played from the far left, just like I said. So not very surprising. So it's probably like second Ziggs in here somewhere. So I don't want to play TF, because if I play TF, it just gets second Ziggs, which is really sad. So what I'm going to do is... what's the best play around this? So let's just play the Sinister Poro, because that gives us a kill on the Chemist. Because we know their hand is like second Ziggs something. Okay, that's not too bad. So... that's fine. So now we have Nami, which can actually go through and kill like all of their units, which is feels good, man. So level Nami, we get to go through, kill half their units. We get to get rid of the second... we get to get rid of the second Ziggs in their hand, like the Ziggs spell. So that feels pretty good. So let's go ahead and just block here. Let's do... we could even Desert Naturalist to blow up one of their things. That doesn't seem super worth it. So let's go ahead and just Mark of the Isles. Let's Mark of the Isles here. Get rid of this guy. And we can play Shelly. The problem is our hand is super clunky, so we're probably not going to win this game just because our hand is super clunky. I wouldn't mind taking as Desert Naturalist to blow up the Scrappy Bomb. That probably would have been better than using Mark of the Isles there, because we don't use either of those anyways. Damn, this is so awkward. I wish we had spells. So let's just go and play Fleet Admiral Shelly. If they use the 3-mana spell, which I'm sure they have Rite of the Arcane, because they haven't had like any units at all. So they don't have any units. They're gonna Rite of the Arcane us. Hopefully it's on our Nami and not on our Shelly. That would make me pretty happy. Nice. So it's on our Nami, so we can do Fading Memories here. We knew they had Rite of the Arcane. That's not a surprise. So basically what this does, this gives us a 1-mana Burblefish, so we can actually play Burblefish. Hopefully play the spell off of it. Attack them with 8 elusive damage. Possibly have a chance. I mean, we have Harrowing. We just need to not die. If we don't die, I mean, they have second Ziggs, so their play here is just like slam second Ziggs down. That card's not very good. Yeah, they're second Ziggs. Okay. So not very good. So we're going to do this. We're going to more powder, just so that way they have to open attack us, or they get got by TF red card shenanigans, or potentially gold card. We'll go and do this. So this forces out an open attack, and then we only take 2 damage, so we go to 5. Hopefully that's okay, he says. Optimistically. Yeah, okay. So that's fine. So we can gold card him here for 4. I think we kind of have to do that. Simply because we don't want to die to the Ziggs. Yep. That's fine. So here we just need to try to keep our units alive. We'll do this. I wish we had spells, but we just straight up don't. I mean, yeah, we'll just do this. We have harrowing here. I don't really know how much that'll actually matter. Get me a spell. Okay. Okay, so we just have to kind of hope they don't have deny. If they don't have deny, we're chilling, hopefully, possibly. So, alright, let's harrowing. We probably have lethal here if they don't have deny. But if they have deny, we're stuck into just like Yibi warning this. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, that's actually not bad for us at all. So no deny is good. So, yeah, I mean, we get it back like instantly. This was really good for us. So they have at least one quicksand. How do we beat that? We beat quicksand with shakedown. Okay, that's fine. We can just do this. We do that. We do this. Okay. So we should be chilling here. Yeah, we went anyways. So able to read that they had second Zig, so we didn't play TF. Because if you play TF there and just go like TF whatever, they immediately just go Ziggs bomb you, attack you. So they're right there. We're able to call out basically his entire hand. We said he didn't have units really. He was going to open attack. And so hopefully that kind of told you guys why it felt that way. You can tell because of that pokey stick was kind of weird. There's no reason to pokey stick there. If you have good units, it's better just like... If I play a, what was it, a 2-1? Or was it the 1-1 spider? Like, you just slam down a 3-3, right? And you just say, like, okay, here's my 3-3, do something about it. Or that turn after when you played, like, he, like, open attacked with Ziggs. Like, it was very clear that they just didn't have units at that point. The Deserter, I'm not really sure why they held onto it so long. I think he was just waiting to have a good unit to blow up. But yeah, when they were going so hard in on the removal spells, we knew, okay, you don't have... units in hand, so what do you have? The obvious answer here is champions and spells. So that's why when we played Nami, we expected Nami to get blown up, and that was very, you know, on par. We were correct there in assuming that. So not a surprise when Nami died. We just had a game plan around it. And then I really expected them to have deny, but we were put in a spot where we couldn't actually play around it because no other play that we did was actually good into deny. Like, we play harrowing, he denies it, and then we say, okay, well, like, the very worst, we can trade our Burblefish into your Ziggs, and then hopefully not die on the next turn. Yeah, so I assume they had, like, Hourglass and, like, all this other stuff here. Other spells that were, like, he obviously had no deny and then no units outside of champions. I don't even know if he had champions. So we were able to make that off of the fact that he didn't play anything early. He played like a really weird spell at a really weird point in time. Yeah, and it kind of just gave it away. So let's do another one. Okay. So we're against Tarek Poppy. So this matchup is usually pretty good. We're gonna keep our Nami off. If we can find double trouble, we're big chillin'. We are, so yeah. So let's do this thing. Hand's pretty good. Our opponent kept 2 of their cards, so their hand can't be that bad. So, okay, 1 mana, 3/3, that's fine. We're just gonna go pass. If they apply too much pressure here, we might Coral Creature's turn too. If they do a bunch of units, we can suspect... they're not attacking on evens, which is really good, because that means that they can't just go like Poppy on 4 to attack. That's pretty annoying, but there isn't too much we can do about it, so I'm just going to pass into double trouble here. We could play, like, Coral Creatures to save 2 HP, because then they can't open attack us here. But depending on their hand, they might just want to develop anyways. Okay. That's fine. So we can just do this, get 2 cards, hopefully they're bangers. Okay, an elusive and a 1/2. That's fine. This is good. So here I'm actually going to Vile Feast the Sculptor. Because I really just... that doesn't sound very smart. I'll just pass here. I'll Vile Feast now. They can keep Sculptor alive, but then that means that they're not playing a champion, which just makes me happy. Let's go ahead and do that. So Ranger's Resolve off the top. That's fine. Oh my goodness. And that's going to be enough to kill Nami. Yeah, we probably should have just done it last turn. I got greedy. But hopefully this means that they don't actually have Poppy, which is cool. Okay, so we can do this, and then we can do Telstones into the 5-mana Telstones. Keep our Nami alive, which is pretty poggers. So yeah, so we have here a read that they either don't have a champion or they really value this because their units are just like really small. Yeah, so they don't have a champion. So let's see here, what you got? Esmus is fine. So they tapped under Concerted Strike, which is actually really big. And this was important because they had to play a unit for Petricite Broadwing. So as long as it was more than a 1-mana unit, we're pretty happy. So I need 6 mana total to do Telstones into Spirit's Journey. So what we can do is we can just do this, spawn 2, make our unit big enough to kill anything they have. And then unless they have like exactly single combat here, we get to keep our Nami alive and we get to kill a lot of their units. Sure. So they have to have exactly single combat. Sure. And then if they don't have exactly single combat, which they probably should, in all honesty, they probably should have exactly single combat because they don't have champions, they don't have Concerted Strike, so they probably have, their hand's probably like Pump Spell, Rally, and then like the 5, no, it's not even the 5-mana unit. It's probably just like Pump Spell, Rally if I had to guess. No, yeah, because they don't have the 5-mana unit either. So it's like Pump Spell, Rally, X. So we'll see if that X is single combat. If it is the single combat, then homie got us. So those all make a trade. And then, yeah, if he has the single combat, we can like Fading Memory something. But yeah, his hand's definitely just like Pump Spell, Rally something. So we'll see if he goes for the Pump Spell here. Let's see what happens. It's probably not Guiding Touch either, because they probably would have just Guiding Touched this Duran Sculptor. So it's like Pale Cascade or Sharp Sight, Rally, something. Okay. Okay, this is pretty good. So now I'm expecting a Rally here on the Duran Sculptor to go ahead and kill off the Nami. But at least we got the Rally out of his hand before they play Taric. And that's pretty good. Because of that, it was probably better to just go ahead and Spirit Journey the 0/4 so it loses Challenger. Let's see here. Oh, it's not Barrier Rally? Okay, we actually just win the game. Okay, cool. So yeah, so we just win. You should give this +4 so it kills Nami and lives. Yeah. Sounds good. So we'll go and just copy this, make our Spiderling a little bit bigger. Call it okay. And we'll play Petricite Broadwing. We'll pull in the... I don't know what we're going to pull in, to be honest with you, but we'll pull into something. Probably pull in their own Petricite Broadwing. Just so that way they can't kill off any of our units here. Because our 7/2 is big enough to deal with any, like, champion they play. Telstones is great because it kills any champion they play. So... oh, God. That's a pretty good card. So let's just swing like this then. Let's pull the 3/3. That's pretty bad into any Pump Spell, which we're going to assume that they have a Pump Spell in their hand. Unless it's double Rally, which it very much... they don't have Concerted, so it very much could be. They don't have Concerted or Single, so it very much could be double Rally hand. So it's probably like Pump Spell, Rally, because this was off the top, right? And it's the one that got the chime, so almost guarantees that these two things are spells, just like we guessed. So it's probably like Sharp Sight into, I don't know, another Relentless Pursuit or something. Yeah, Pale Cascade, sure. There's the Pump Spell we talked about. This is whatever he drew off the top, which very much could be a unit or something. Let's see what they got. If they go for a block here, we can't really do much because Mark doesn't make it big enough to kill. So yeah, so there's the sharp sight. We still can't really do anything to kill it here. So their hand was double pump spell, just like we guessed it was. Not that big of a deal. We have Eye of Nagakaboros to go ahead and burst out blockers. We have this big ass guy for champions. If they have, you know, anything too crazy, we can probably deal with it. So there's a Tarek. I mean, I'm kind of down to just play Coral Creatures. If that last card is a rally, I'm going to be kind of sad. Is there anything we can actually do against that, though? This is the real question. I don't know if there's anything we can actually do against that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play Burblefish. That way we get a good block on Esmus. You can play Coral Creatures, but Coral Creatures doesn't really have a good block on anybody. So at least this way, if they try to pull in the Burblefish, my 7-2 just kind of kills the Tarek. So that buffs the Sculptor, and then they just run Tracker into my 7-2. Yep. Sounds good to me. We have 9 mana. So that's enough to play like Coral Creatures into... Sure. That's fine. So that's enough to play Coral Creatures into Crumble, which is probably what we're going to do here. We can also just Jailbreak and crumble away, like, whatever shit unit this Jailbreak is, instead of our 1/3 Coral Creatures. The only way this backfires is if this is actually a good unit. So there's the double rally hand, so we were right on that. And the game's pretty over. So this was a perfect example of like having perfect hand reads, like literally perfect hand reads. I even called double rally. I said pump spell, double rally, double pump spell. Literally called this game from, what was it, like that, the Rangers resolve turn. That Rangers resolve turn into the no champion told me exactly what their hand was. Sure, I'll go to 3. It doesn't matter. We're just going to have infinite blockers from this point. You don't play any reach. So, game's pretty free. Play Coral Creatures. Go Hard's pretty good because it kills the Esmus. So yeah, hand reading 101. There's our Nami off the top. Game is pretty done. So yeah, so if you guys have any questions on hand reading, I know it's one of the hardest things for people to grasp, and it's something that I feel really, really confident in, and something that a lot of people... do I have Vile Feast? Let me look for Vile Feast here. If I get Vile Feast this, that'd be great. There's a Vile Feast. So... yeah, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, like in the comments down below, you know? Feel free to ask. I mean, I'm down to just, like, go hard you. And then just trade my units into yours. I'm just gonna trade my units into yours, call it a good day. Yeah, so if you have any more questions, feel free to ask. Hopefully I explained well enough what my thought process is on hand reading, because I see a lot of people talk about hand reading and then just say like, oh yeah, obviously this guy has this in his hand. Obviously they're gonna play this. Oh, I'm playing around this. Obviously they have that. But they don't ever actually explain like why they feel that way. And I feel like that's literally the most important part to hand reading, is understanding why to play around specific cards. You know, like, why did you play around this? Why did you assume they have this? That's like literally the most important part. Just telling somebody, well, obviously they have this stupid, like, that's not helpful. Like, I could have sat there the whole time, but like, well, he doesn't have this, he has this, he has this, he has this. But if I don't tell you why I think he has these things, then it's not helpful, is it? So yeah, he had those because the Ranger Resolve was kind of weird. It was his champion turn on 4 mana, so they didn't have champion. They didn't play champion on their champion turn, and they proceeded to not play champion turn 5 on the Petrosite Broadwing turn. So as soon as they didn't play a champion to give Petrosite Broadwing challenger, and as soon as they went under Concerted Strike mana, I knew that my Nami was safe against anything that isn't single combat. And they kept up rally, so I kind of misplayed there. I definitely should have just killed the zero for. But obviously I like misplay when I'm trying to talk out everything and explain all my plays. But yeah, obviously there, if I just kill the 0-4, then my Nami lives in this game's like a gajillion times easier. But he had everything, like everything I called out, everything I said he did. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you enjoy these educational videos where it's less about decks and gameplay and it's more about just like competitive. It's like think like a pro, right? It's more about these competitive concepts and teaching how to do these. One last thing I'll cover is I'll go over how you can practice this. And then so number one is just to play like this. Play and kind of think like anytime your opponent does something, I always would think to myself, I'll tell you what I did to get better. Because I started this with Magic the Gathering. I played a deck called Humans. For those of you that play Magic, you know the card called Meddling Mage. For those of you that don't play Magic, there's literally a card in your deck that says, name a card, your opponent can't play it. So it was very good and very useful if you had good hand reads against certain decks. You could say, oh, well, obviously they have, you know, like Rally, like in that game, like let's say, oh, they have Rally in their hand. So I would play this card and say, you can no longer play like the card named Relentless Pursuit. And if their hand is, you know, 2 Relentless Pursuits, then they just cry. And they like literally can't play half their hand. So I developed a really strong sense of hand reading because I played that card a lot and, you know, I wanted to be the best. So put a lot of time into it. So one is just play a lot. Just play a lot. Anytime your opponent does something, ask yourself, why did they do this? What could this mean? What could have been a better play for them? So a very, you know, common, a very easy thing is, hey, my opponent used a Get Excited to remove my 2 HP unit. What does this tell you? It tells you that they probably don't have Mystic Shot. Because why would you spend a Get Excited on a 2 HP unit if you have Mystic Shot, you know? A couple things, like other things, like playing against anti-TF, and you have, you know, a couple units in play with 1 HP, and your opponent goes, Blade's Edge, you play something scary, and they go, Blade's Edge, Disintegrate. And it's like, okay, well, and they have mana for Make It Rain, right? So I can say, well, obviously they don't have Make It Rain because it would have been better for them to say Disintegrate, Make It Rain, remove a bunch of units for 1 more mana instead of just Disintegrate, Blade's Edge. You know, that could be something that they play around. You can say like, oh, they stunned my unit, but then didn't kill it with Flock. So you can probably safely assume that they don't have Flock in their hand. You know, just little things like that really that help you like, pick up on the little things. And it really starts to add up. Yeah, so things like with Kaisa decks, like, oh, my Kaisa opponent didn't slam Kaisa on turn 5 with 0 mana available, but they immediately played Kaisa on turn 6 when they had 4 spell mana available. What could this mean? Well, it means that they played Kaisa. You could probably bet that they have like Supercharge, Ancient Hourglass, Ranger's Resolve, Sharp Sight, something like some save spell, some way to keep their Kaisa alive through removal spell. Like they're obviously playing around your removal spell and have an answer to it. So try to think to yourself, okay, so now how do I beat their answer to my answer to their Kaisa? And that's a good way, you know, another thing to look at, another thing to think of. The other method that I find extremely useful that I did a lot with Magic the Gathering was watch streamers stream, like watch them play or watch YouTube guides or whatever it is. Like watch people play their games, have it muted, and then try to put yourself in the streamer's shoes of what your opponent could have. So an example of this would be like, go watch, you know, like Majin's an extremely popular streamer who plays competitively very well and plays at a top level on ladder all the time. So you could watch his stream, mute the stream, and then, or even a VOD or anything like that. Because VODs you can pause and play, and streams you can't really pause and play well. So go watch his the VOD of him playing live, mute his stream so you don't have any influence from him of him telling you, oh, I think he has this card, or I'm going to play around this, because obviously that's not going to help you too much, or maybe it does, you know, who knows? Like if you need that help, go for it. But watch the streams and then say like, okay, why did the opponent do this? Because here you are playing against high level players and they probably have a reasoning behind everything, and try to think like, oh, why did Majin play this card? Why did they play this card? Kind of think about it, pause the video, pause the VOD, and then continue to play it out and see like, oh, that must mean that they have this card in their hand, and go and play it out and see if they have it. Or you can unmute the streamer and see if he's playing around the same thing you're playing around. That's the other second thing that I always recommend people to do when they're trying to learn to hand read. So one is always ask yourself when you're like play a lot, always ask yourself, why did my opponent do this? Was there a better option? What does this mean? And then two is watch other streamers or videos, stuff like that. Like even go back and watch my, like competitive videos, watch my deck guide, stuff like that when I'm playing, and see, like mute it, see if you can guess what my opponent's hand is before they actually play their cards. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this like longer style competitive guide going in on these competitive topics and mechanics. If you do enjoy these, please let me know. If there are any other competitive mechanics or anything like that that you want me to go over, let me know that in the comments down below. But that's it. Join the Discord, subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. Join the Discord. I literally stream in my Discord more often than I stream on Twitch. Like I just streamed a ladder session where I went from like D4 to D2 with TF Nami in there. That's where I post all my deck guides. That's how you get notifications when I go live on Twitch or stream on YouTube, anything like that. Or like I said, I'm always trying to find people to play games with in my Discord. We just hit 1,000 people in my Discord, so big shout out, big thank you to you guys. So yeah, join Discord, link in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video.